Good morning. It is Tuesday, and it is time for work. I'm barely awake, and the game's still not over. At this point, I'm convinced that the group is just a bunch of cowards who is avoiding the final fight out of sheer cowardice. We started out the session with Doc and Kim heading in the direction of the director. Doc convinced Kim not to go see the director and finish things there. Instead to head back with him to the other ones. They turned around, went to leave. Shortly after that, screaming started for the direction of where they were headed. People started running out of the restaurant that they had been going to. They ran away faster. The rest of the group started getting signals that started intercepting technocracy signals, rather, that said that the director had been killed and that there was some kind of a deviant which had attacked him. The rest of the group, to their credit, was charging forward towards the restaurant at 100 plus miles an hour, driving along the sides of buildings and such. Very, very low-key, of course. And they got to the restaurant. They saw what by this time they believed to be a changeling creature of some sort, in the guise of a well-dressed man, sitting at a table, sipping wine, waiting. They had already a announcement over the broadband radio that Mr. Rothschild was basically wanted by the Court of Apples for his bastardized wrangling of the Kronos art. Basically, amazingly enough, there are some changelings that can actually figure out when people have screwed with time. It's funny that a race of near immortals would get a bit antsy about people doing that, you know. I don't know why they would, but, you know, of course, some people just don't like people messing with time. Especially people that have lived a long time and don't want their time to be messed with. So yes, he declares that the Court of Apples would pass judgment on him. The rest of the group gets there, sees this guy sipping wine, and after doing everything they could to possibly get there, backs away and leaves. Makes perfect sense, right? I mean, you just cast 4 or 5 rotes, and did some crazy stunt driving to get here as fast as you possibly could. So it makes perfect sense you're going to then turn around and leave. So they all left. They got into an alley a couple blocks away, and Kim, who is Michael Rothschild, who always keeps himself shielded so that people can't locate him, gets asked by Seeger to drop his shields. And just like that, he decides, yeah, sure, why not? So he drops his shields, which of course then lets his enemy, brought on by his flaw, which I had kind of been ignoring up to this point. It was a short game. I was kind of letting him get away with it. And then they did something stupid. So then a figure steps out of the shadows, finally able to locate Rothschild after his years of searching. And they have a little encounter with a vampire. So, yeah. Doc manages to hit him with a sunlight flashlight. He's not very happy about that. He leaves. He does, before he leaves, though, let Rothschild know that he knows where he is now and he won't be far away. So they ran away from one fight to bring another villain into play. And then they ran back to the warehouse where they originally met with Cassandra. Now, of course, New York is in chaos at this point. The director has been assassinated. 3 different groups are trying to take control. All of them are trying to bring to bear whatever technology and assets they can. In some cases, against each other. Each of them claiming that the other group is a splinter group or a corrupted group or whatever else it may be. So in all of this confusion, the cellular network around New York gets crashed. So communication dies off. They get back to Cassandra's warehouse to find that she's not there. Because why would she keep her unit there in the middle of all of this chaos? No, she's out there actually as one of the 3 groups. Seeger then decides to jump into the digital web to try to contact her that way. Gets himself in the middle of a fight going on in the digital web. And gets himself incapacitated. When last we left him, luckily, he had been in the vicinity of some other technocratic agents who saw him drop down and were in the middle of evacuating him to assistance. Depending on which group that was, will depend on how much he likes things when he wakes up. If he wakes up. Maybe. Who knows? The group then stood around in this warehouse arguing and debating and basically doing nothing until, well, the Changeling are involved and they're hunting Rothschild. So who have they sent? They've sent the Sluagh. And voices begin to come, whispers come from the shadows, telling him that he will be judged for his transgressions and that the Marshal of Apples awaits him. Instead of turning himself in to go to meet with the Marshal, they open fire. I mean, yeah, that's what you want to do. And they realize as they begin to open fire, they look around and realize that there's lots and lots of Sluagh in the shadows. Looking like possibly Rothschild is the subject of a hunt. So the others who attack the Changelings on his behalf all get named as new targets of the hunt. Doc and Jamie, who don't attack, do not get named as targets of the hunt. And as we close out the session, there are a horde of Sluagh descending on the group in a dark warehouse. Yeah, the fight was always coming to them. It was just a matter of where they wanted to have the fight. And it's turned out that it looks like they wanted to have it in an abandoned warehouse. So, next session, we will definitely end this game, one way or the other. Because either they will do something to succeed, or they will do nothing and die. One or the other. They're kind of going to be out of choices. And there we are. That's this week's session. I know there wasn't much in the predictions because I didn't want to give the changeling reveal away. But, yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow. Now, I don't know if it will be tomorrow morning or if I'll wait until tomorrow evening so that I can add my editing and extra stuff to the side of the videos. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with that, but I will be back at some point tomorrow with a video for you. Until then, like, subscribe, and have a great day.